Hi, boys and girls. We're going to start this week off today and tomorrow looking at performance task. A performance task is just a little bit deeper level thinking of math, and sometimes it's more than one step to complete the task or the problem to get the answer. So let's look at today's problem. Two people are playing a game. To play the game, each player spins a spinner. The players take turns spinning, and each player has 4 turns. To keep track of the scores for each player, the score at the end of each spin is rounded to the nearest 10. Complete the table by rounding the scores at the end of each player's turn to the nearest 10. So we have Sarah and DeQuan. So I wrote my tool up here that 0 to 4 I stay down at a 10, and 5 to 9 I'm going to go up. So Sarah's first turn, she gets a 78. So I look at the 7 and then the number right next to it, the 8, and that tells me to go up to 80. Okay. 67, that 7 tells me to go up to 70. 86, an 8 with a 6, tells me to go up to 90. And 73, the 3, tells me to stay down at 70. DeQuan, 81, 8 with a 1, that tells me to stay at 80, stay down at 80. 77, oh, that 7 tells me to go up to 80. 72, that tells me to stay down at 70. And 63, oh, that 3 tells me to stay down at 60. So there we go. I sometimes will underline what they ask me to do too in these problems to kind of make sure I keep it clear. Now let's go to the next step. Part B. Think about the difficulty of adding the scores that are not rounded and adding the scores that are rounded. Give one reason why rounding the scores to the nearest 10 after each turn was helpful. Well, let's think about that. If I had to add all these numbers up, which I think I'm probably going to have to do in a minute, versus these are easier, right? These would be easier, okay? Because I'm only adding this one digit in the tens, because these are all zeros. All right, so rounding them does make it simple and easy. So let's say that. It makes, we're just going to keep it real simple. It makes adding simple and easy. Okay, so that's how it's helpful. Now let's go to part C. To find each player's total score, find each player's total score when they were not rounded after each turn and when they were rounded. Does rounding the scores to the nearest 10 after each turn change the outcome of the game? Explain. Okay. So we have to add every one of these columns now. So let's do the first one. So this takes a little bit of time, but let's think about it like this. I'm going to add all the ones and get a number down here. So I'm adding all 4 digits. So I'm going to kind of put up the word total right here. And I'm going to put a line, kind of extend my line down so my numbers don't run into each other. So I have to go piece by piece, right? So if I was using mental math and I'm just going to add the digits all the way down that are in the ones, I'm just going to add numbers together. So you're used to doing this, adding 2 numbers. So 8 plus 7, well, mental math tells me that's 15, but let's say I didn't know that. I could write it down here and then keep it. Okay, so then I would have 6 more, so I'm going to add my 6 more. So 5 and 6 is 11, so I would carry. You remember doing this from 2nd grade. And then I have a 3. So that would give me 24. So I put my 2 down, and I put my 4 down, and I'm going to carry my 2. Okay, so now, right now, I'm looking at the numbers in the tens. So 7 and 2 is 9. So I already have 9, right? And then 9 and 6. Okay, that's 15. And 8 more. I'm going to put that down right here. So that would give me 23 at carry and 7. So that's a 10 and carry. That's 304. So now let's add numbers that were rounded. Well, 0 plus 0 plus 0 plus 0. I got 0, right? 8 and 7, 15. I'm doing it in my head this time. 15 and 9 would be 24. And 24 and 7 would be 31. Look how quick I did that with mental math. Just adding one digit at a time in my head. Okay, so there's Sarah's two scores, her actual score and her rounded score. Let's do Daquan's now. All right, so 1 and 7 is 8, right? Only the ones right here. 1 and 7 is 8. 8 plus 2 is 10. 10 plus this 3 is 13. I'm going to put that down, carry a 1. 1 and 8 is 9. So 9, so I'm going to maybe write that down here. 9 and 7, okay, 16. 16 and 7 more, I'm adding each time. Well, that's 3, carry the 1, 23, and then 6, okay? So that would be 29. So 293. So now his last column of rounding. 0 plus 0 plus 0 plus 0. Oh, 0. 8 and 8, 16, right? 8 plus 8, 16. So 16 plus 7, that would be 23, and 6 more, 29. Okay, so his rounded score is 290, and his actual score was 293. So if they were going for the most points, Sarah would win the rounding, and she would also win the actual game, wouldn't she? Because her actual score beat his score right there. So she beat him in actual numbers, and she beat him in rounding numbers. So we go back to our question again. Does rounding the scores to the nearest 10 after each turn change the outcome of the game? We're going to say it doesn't change the outcome. Sorry, I'm running out of space there. Of the game. Sarah, I gotta make sure I spell her name right? Sarah still wins. All right, so that is an example of a performance task. Takes a couple steps, takes a little bit longer, and takes some deeper level thinking on your part. All right, you're going to return to your slide and try some of these on your own. Okay? All right, bye for now.